Hello students, I am Sarita. Today I am presenting the concept basis of Hindu social organization. Before getting to the actual topic, we need to understand about organization. What is organization? So it is the process of doing things in an orderly manner is called as organization. In that way, how the Hindu social organization gives the way and guides the individual to lead a life in order. That is what we are going to see in this presentation. So, social organization is also called as the arrangement of action which conforms with the norms and values of society. Whatever we do, we need to conform with the norms and values, whether it is going with the society or not, that we need to conform. That is very, very important. So, especially how that Hindu social organization have developed, what are the basic structure, what are the changes have taken place in that system, and how it is fulfilling the needs of human society or purposes of human life. These are the things we are going to discuss in this presentation, and the purposes of Hindu social organization is to be discussed in a detailed manner in the forthcoming slides. In Hindu social organization, these are all the four pillars ordering our human life, namely ashrama, varna, caste and joint family. These systems are well planned and balanced organization. Why? Because these institutions are changing every day and rejuvenating or redefining themselves every day. So it is the stable organization to order our human life. So what is actually existing in the ashrama, varna, caste and joint family Hindu social organizations? Ashrama, which is dividing the human life into four stages, we are going to see in detailed manner in the forthcoming slides. Next one is varna, dividing human society into four divisions. That is, according to Manu Shastra, it is telling that the human beings came from the mouth, shoulder, stomach and thighs of Brahma. According to the place of the birth, they are called as the Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Brahmins came from the mouth of the Brahma, and Kshatriyas came from the shoulder of Brahma, and Vaishyas came from the stomach, and that Shudras came from the thighs. These are the belief by the Manu Shastra. Next one is caste. These institutions which has influenced the development of Indian society. Yes, there is ups and downs in human society or human development according to the caste. Why? Because these are all there are the divisions according to this caste in the Indian society is existing. This influencing the development of the country in a positive and a negative manner. Next, fourth pillar is the joint family system. This joint family system is also have changed over the period, and also it is fulfilling the purposes of human life, that is a togetherness. Among the four bases of Hindu social organization, we are going to see about ashramas in detail in this slide. These ashramas are stages provide structure and guidance of everyday life of human being. First stage is brahmacharya ashrama, next grihasthashrama, next one vanaprasthashrama and sannyashrama. Among the four stages of ashrama, first one is brahmacharya ashrama. It is a student life. Learning is the basic thing in this life, student life, that is brahmacharya ashrama. They are learning about all the nuances of life in this stage. Learning and preparing for success in the next stages is very important goal of this ashrama. So also they are gaining religious training in this stage. Vice versa, individual and society are learning from one another. Gaining religious training to lay the foundation for spiritual practice. Also, they'll go to the guru in the olden days, that is the traditional way of brahmacharya ashrama is the Gurukula Kalvi, that is Gurukula education. They will go to the Guru's place and they will learn that life matters. So attending school in the modern era is important in the brahmacharya ashrama. After the brahmacharya ashrama, the next stage is Grihastha ashrama. Grihastha in the Sanskrit meaning is married persons. That is, the Grihastha is the married life or married person. The main important goal is to develop spiritual practice in the midst of the material world. We know already that all the activities or the spiritual activities are allowed to do for only particular persons, that is married persons, as a couple or Tambadiyar. We may say call them as a Tambadiyar. They are supposed to do all the religious activities in the temple or in the home. They only have the priority or the privileges to do the religious activities. Other than the couples, the persons, those who are not married, they are not supposed to allow to do the things. And marriage is given high priority in this ashrama. That is, marriage, getting married and having the children and fulfilling the needs of the family members is important responsibility in this stage. The scriptures detail how to married life to be successful to following the dharma in their activities. In this stage, individuals are encouraged to produce and distribute wealth and experience pleasure, and also they needs to follow ethically, that is holding dharma in their every actions in their marriage life. That is very, very important in this stage. So all the human beings, once after learnt from the school or college, they are stepping into the Grihastha ashrama. Of course, it is very inevitable in the human life. They need to get married and they need to have a children. They need to fulfilling the needs of the family members in this stage. Next stage is Vanaprastha ashrama, that is spiritual practice. The important goal of this ashrama, that is the stage of the goal of this stage is to devote oneself to spiritual practice with a commitment to moksha and seva. Once after fulfilling the roles and responsibilities of the family, the person is stepping into this stage in the midst of the material world. They need to know oneself and they are devoting themselves to do the service to others. The idea is to live among other seekers of solace, knowledge, peace and freedom. In this stage, Hindus may do this by volunteering, attending lectures, reading scriptures, going on pilgrimages and even spending time in ashramas. They are volunteering themselves to do the service to others in the society. Also, they used to read the scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and they would like to go pilgrimages once after fulfilling their family needs, especially in the after 60s or after 70s, they fulfilling their responsibilities. They do go Kasi, Rameshwara, that is the pilgrimages they used to go. So they want to do some service once after fulfilling their familial needs or responsibilities. This is what important in this Vanaprastha ashrama, and especially they devote themselves towards the service to others, and also they used to follow some spiritual practices in their home or to the temple, especially in this stage. So the last stage or the last ashrama is sannyasa or sannyashrama. The important goal of this stage is attain liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Of course, no one wants to have a rebirth after their end of their life. They want to go to the moksha. So to attain moksha or liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth, the person they needs to understand about their self. So in this stage, the Hindus who want to exclusively pursue moksha, they enter into this stage under a monastic lifestyle, under the guidance of a guru. They will go and find out the guru for themselves and to know about themselves and the purpose of life to attain moksha. So having fulfilled all obligations to family and community, they are free to develop themselves to spiritual growth with a simple lifestyle. That is, they are free from their family life, not leaving the family, but fulfilling the needs of the family, and they will go to this stage, that is the sannyasrama. Once after fulfilling all the needs and responsibilities of the family only, they will step into this stage, that is sannyasrama. So these are all the 4 stages or ashramas are existing in the. So these are all the 4 stages or ashramas are existing in the Hindu social organization. So in this last slide, we are going to see about the purposes of human life. Hindu social organization is also deals with the purposes of human life. Why we are living, how we have to live in this life. So these are the things are discussed in the Hindu social organization. The first one is dharma. Dharma means truth, purpose, to hold together, to sustain, to preserve. So it is a righteous action or right way of living. Nothing but truth, and always you need to hold the truth in whatever you do in your life. So that is important. The first purpose of human life is to holding the dharma. The next one is artha. It is security and having the material comfort to lead your life in the world with ease. So that is artha. That is wealth. Also we can say it as a wealth. It is a security having material comfort for the human life. Artha is also referred as a wealth which makes the human life better. Next one is kama. It relates to pleasure, which can be sensuality, but it is also art, music, beauty, love, intimacy, affection, fellowship and kindness. It's what brings a sense of delight to our life. Also, whatever the things or matters are making your life very happy is also called as the kama. The last one is moksha. Moksha, it is the freedom from samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth. That is, the samsara is nothing but the cycle of death and rebirth. So we need to attain moksha when we are holding the dharma in artha, kama, or whatever we do, we can attain moksha. These are the important purposes of human life which are discussed in the Hindu social organization. Thank you for listening.